All right, so I got a bunch of wood bats here. These are some of the brands and bats that we've been using. And some of you have been asking, which wood bat should I buy? Right now it's almost March of 2019, and, baseball season's right around the corner, and some of you guys are looking to buy a wood bat and want to know from our experience, hey, which one should I get? So I'm going to talk about some of these models that we've used. This video is intended for little leaguers. I'd say kids probably 9 to 12 years old or so. My son just turned 9 a couple months ago. He used a lot of these bats when he was 8 and now 9. But he's a pretty big, strong kid and can swing a bigger bat. So, some of these bats and sizes and weights would work for kids like 11 and 12 also. So, but to answer your question, if you said, look, I only have the money for one wood bat, it's not that simple. I mean, with these bats here, I mean, honestly, I like all these bats. I don't think you can go wrong if you just bought any bat on this table or similar ones by these companies, really. But I'm going to talk about them real quick here. We're going to start with some of the lower end bats and then move up to some of the higher end bats. The Victuses are the highest end there in the middle. But, one option is simply your basic Louisville Slugger. Now, we like these Louisville Sluggers a lot. And I think for cost versus value, I think they're an excellent bargain. No, we haven't really, as far as youth bats go, tried the high-end, expensive, like MLB grade Louisville Sluggers. They really don't offer much in that category for youth that I've been able to find. So we've used just the standard ones. And these, like these ones here, these are Youth M9 Maple, and I'd say we paid roughly like $25 for these, but I got them on sale and bought like 8 at a time. So you might pay $40, but if you pay $40 for one of these Youth M9 Maples, like any kind of maple youth bat by Louisville Slugger, the good thing about them is, they can hit. I mean, they have a nice crisp sound and crisp feel when you hit, and the ball does come off them pretty hard. They're good, solid bats. The only thing I'd recommend with this is you're going to have to buy more than one, because you can break them. Like this one snapped at the handle. I mean, you've seen Josh had a lot of hits with this. I mean, he was outdoors hitting pitches off high speed. You can see he hit some balls so hard that literally the blue ink on the balls is imprinted into the bat. I mean, right there, that's a smudge. I write my name on the baseballs on a Sharpie, and boom, you can see my name imprinted in some of these. So he did a lot of damage with this bat, but at some point, you hit one wrong at the end of the bat, it'll crack. So you're going to need a couple of these, but again, at $25 to $40 a piece, that sure beats a metal bat. But if you just grab one of these Louisville Sluggers, you can't go wrong. I haven't really seen these in our local store, Dick's, as much. I've seen some of the cheaper, lighter youth ones, but I haven't really seen these. I had to buy these online, but these ones are M9 Maple, but any kind of youth hard maple will work. Here's another Louisville Slugger. Now, these are the older models, and these really hit too. I mean, these things are solid and they hit. These say hard maple and have this older M9 sticker on them. You can usually find these used on eBay for about $20 to $30. And I think they're worth it. I mean, we bought several. We've always been happy. But again, they can break. But you can see we've really hit a lot of balls. You can see there's indentations all over it and ball marks. And this one hasn't broken yet. And Josh likes these. They're pretty balanced and they hit hard. And here's another example of a Louisville Slugger. I mean, this is a bat that they literally give this out for free at our local minor league baseball games, the Harrisburg Senators. They have a bat night, and they give this out free. So this is one of the cheapest Louisville Sluggers you're going to find. And, Josh loves this. He hits great with it. I mean, you can see he's been hitting some balls. Now, they don't hold up quite as well. The paint comes off and wears off, but we actually found this at a thrift store for $2. Someone, got it at bat night and turned it in. So when I see these there, I grab them, like at the Salvation Army and places like that. But even something like this, if you see a wood bat anywhere laying around for a couple bucks at a thrift store, pick it up. I mean, I can't tell much difference between hitting with this versus one of these other ones. I mean, it hits fine. They have ash models too. Again, they hit pretty good too, similar to the the maple. I can't tell much of a difference. It's kind of personal preference. If you want an ash or a maple, you can read up on the subject. But um, none of these bats here retail for more than $40, I would say, and a lot of them are closer to 25 to 35. So these are certainly a good option. The second one I'm going to talk about, as far as like, lower end consumer grade bats, are the Rawlings. Can't comment too much on some of these Rawlings because we didn't use them as much. This is a Rawlings hard ash. This one Josh really liked, and he did a lot of hitting, and the ball was zipping off this thing and carrying well. Unfortunately, he did eventually break it in the handle, but this has a pretty good sized barrel, and he was swinging it very well and really liked this, and we really, beat it up a little bit before it broke. So I would definitely recommend that. Now, that's one we found online from the Rawlings official website. I don't know if they still have them on there or not. But I bought a bunch of those when they went on sale. I think I paid $25 a piece, but I think they normally retail for like closer to 60. But we were happy with that bat. Now, this is a bat that a lot of you may see. This, you can usually find a bat like this at Dick's. It's called a Rawlings Velo. They're usually like drop 7.5 they put on them. They're usually not quite that weight. I think this one was more like a drop 6 or 6.5. Can't comment too much on this. Josh hit with it like one night, didn't really give me too much feedback on it, and we were so busy and had other bats we didn't get around to it. But it's noticeably skinnier than the hard ash one, the barrel. And that could come down to a personal preference. If you think you can swing the heavier barrel around and like the bigger barrel, it might be beneficial. This might work, but can't give you too much feedback. I have seen kids break these. They are a lighter ash bat and on the inexpensive side, so I would assume that these will break, especially if these Louisville Slugger maples are breaking. These are going to be more of a fragile bat. You're going to need multiples of these if you're going to, probably make it through a season if you're hitting a lot of pitches. Next in the middle here are the Victuses. Now, if somebody told me, hey, I can only buy one bat, my answer would be get the Victus. Because it's the most durable of all the bats you're going to get, and it does have as much or more pop probably than the other bats. But we have two of them here, and the thing you're going to notice about the Victus is, if you get them, is, this one here, Josh has hit a lot of balls indoors in the winter in the cage, and he played in a winter league, and he's hit a lot of balls with this bat. But there's literally barely a mark on it. The paint came off around the cup at the top a little bit, but these things are rock solid. I can't imagine a youth player, even like a strong 11 or 12-year-old, breaking one of these. And it just has like a hard, glossy coating, and these things are virtually indestructible. You can see at the very end where he chipped it, you can see how thick that black coating is. There's a nice thick layer of coating over the wood. It does, sometimes you don't get that clean crack of a wood bat because of that coating. It sounds a little different on certain hits. And sometimes you do hear it though, but if you watch the videos we posted of him, I think I posted 2 triples he hit in the winter league. They were both with this bat here, and the one you hear that crisp crack, and the other you just hear kind of like a thud. He might not have got it perfectly clean either, but that's the only thing negative I can say about these, is sometimes with that thick coating, it doesn't get the same crisp, loud sound you get with those uncoated Louisville Sluggers that are a lot cheaper. But these bats are in the, I'd say, $100 to $150 range if you get them from Victus for youth ones. And again, if you had to buy just one, because of the fact that you're not going to break it and it hits well, I would get one of these Victuses. It doesn't dent up either. I don't see dents or anything in this. This is a tough bat. That one we were hitting indoors with. This one we hit outdoors with. And same thing, you're going to see actual ball marks and dirt on this one. They repel ball marks extremely well, and you can wipe them off too. But outdoors in the mud, it does take some ball marks, and there's some ink marks when Josh blasted the logo off a baseball. But again, there's no dents in this. If you run your hand over it, it's still smooth. There's still a smooth coating. A little bit of paint does chip off the ends, but these things are indestructible, and they hit well. Next are the old Hickories. I don't think you can go wrong with one of these either. Now, the difference between these and the Victuses are they don't have the coating that the Victuses have, but they hit well. They give you a nice, crisp, sound. The ball jumps off the bat, similar to the Victus. I mean, Josh hit some deep fly balls with these, and they're beautiful looking bats. But when I go to the side he's been hitting on, you're gonna see, that coating is like gone. This feels rough. I can feel some of the wood grain on this black one too here, and he didn't hit all that many with the black ones. We were out in the mud hitting some muddier balls, but you can see here the paint came off this pretty quickly, and I'm down to the raw wood, and I can feel some indentations from where he hit the stitches of the baseball. So they're not quite as durable, but as far as breaking them goes, we'd never come close to breaking one though. So by durability, you're not going to break it, but you are going to have some paint wear and some ball marks and stuff like that. But I really like these old Hickory bats. I like the company. Their prices are very fair, and they hit the ball. Like, I have an adult one that I use to hit Josh fly balls, and I've tried a bunch of different ones, and I grab that one, and boom, the ball just zips off, and it's easy for me to hit them pop-ups. So, and we also had a 12-year-old teammate of Josh's. He used this very bat right here. I gave it to him one time in a game, and he's a big, strong kid, but he just crushed it out of the park on the first swing. So you can't go wrong with one of these old Hickories. The only thing about some of these old Hickories are, though, they are a little on the heavy side. These barrels are huge. This is the youth big barrel model. They have other models, but we got the big barrels, and it might get a little heavy, especially with that much weight at the end of the bat for a kid. I mean, and they typically come in drop 3s or drop 4s, the ones we've got from them. You could say drop 5, I think, on the order form, but when they come, they're like a drop 3 or 4 sometimes. So they're heavier, and especially if you're getting a big barrel, they're a little on the heavy side. The Victuses are more balanced and generally more accurate on the weight if you order from them. A certain drop, they can get you closer to it. The next option here, and this is a very, very good option too, one of our favorites, is the Maruccis. I got 3 of these here. I think the Maruccis are kind of the best of both worlds, kind of between a Victus and the cheaper Louisville Sluggers, because they're very, very durable. We've never come close to breaking a Marucci or a Victus like we did the Louisville Sluggers, and we broke a Rawlings and some of those cheaper consumer bats. And these ones are priced in the middle. These retail for $80, the youth ones. But, if you get a coupon or something at Dick's, you can get it for maybe $65 or $70 or something. But we really like these because they have good pop. I'd say they're right in the middle, or near the top. I mean, it's hard to gauge the pop. Some days it's like, yeah, the kid's hitting better. And this bat has pop. Other days he's not hitting good. You think it's not going quite as far. But they wouldn't. I don't say they'd have quite as much pop as the old Hickory or the Victus if you really get a ball strong. But they're similar to the Louisville Sluggers, but they're very, very durable. They won't break. As far as the paint goes and stuff, it's not like a Victus. It's not quite as hard of a coating. I can feel some wear on this, but it's not as much as those uncoated Louisville Sluggers are. But these have held up pretty good. As far as models go, they're all pretty similar. I have another video on the models, but a Kutch 22 is kind of our favorite. And for youth hitters, another big advantage of these Maruccis is you can get them in lower weights. You're going to have to take a scale with you and measure and weigh them, like a scale like that, to the store, because they do vary widely, or just pick them up and swing them. But this one here, for instance, this is like a drop 8. So this is similar to someone coming from metal. Some of them has been as little as a drop 3 or 4, but typically for a lightweight bat, they're very fragile, but they make some of the sturdiest, lightest, balanced youth bats you can find. So you can't go wrong with one of these Maruccis. Last thing here, I want to try to keep this video down to about 15 minutes. So I have a Viper. This is actually a birch one too. We didn't hit a ton with these. I hit a few with them, and the ball just zipped off the Vipers. I liked them. Josh didn't like them quite as much, but he just wasn't hitting that good those days, I think. So I don't think he gave him really a fair shake, but he did hit some deep fly balls with this, especially the birch one. We have a maple. He did have some good hits. I think they're balanced. They only come in a 30-inch for youth sizes, though, so if you're a 31, you're not going to be able to get one And they are a little heavier. They usually come in like a drop 3 or 4 for us, but I mean they make good wood. They hit pretty good. They're up there with the old hickories, I'd say. So all in all, I mean, if you're looking to buy a bat, if you got the money, you can only get one, get a Victus. Second choice, if you need a lighter one and only get one, get a Marucci. But I'd say just get a bunch, man. Just get a Louisville Slugger, get one of each, and just try them out and get different sizes and weights and have some fun hitting. I mean, you're going to enjoy hitting with these wood bats, and when you buy one, you're not going to want to stop at one. I mean, you know, they're unique and they're beautiful looking and they hit well and they feel well and sound well. So if you're thinking of buying a wood bat, I hope this video helps you out. But if you pick up anything on this table, any of these wood bats, you're going to do fine. And we have tons of wood bats. So it's not just what's on this table, anything by these companies.